Hello, this is Nidra Kuiper, and welcome to Advice Line. This is the first of many more videos that I'm going to make. I have been working with abused people for almost 2 years now, helping people that have been raped, that have been through child abuse. Um, I don't have any psychology training. I don't have any certificates or doctorates or anything like that, so I want to let people know that up front. What I do give is advice based upon my own experience of years of going through the healing process from child abuse. So take what I have to say in these videos um, as just peer advice. Always refer to your psychologist, psychiatrist for any any real medical advice. I'm here only for support and to share with you the things that I have learned over the years and things that I learned by reaching out and helping other people. So today we're going to discuss 4 different questions. One question is, why me? Why did I have to be raped, beaten, or abused? This is talking about child abuse or early teen years of abuse or rape. Many people ask, why me? Why did I have to be raped? Why I never would have thought something like this would have happened to me, but here I am in this situation and now I'm devastated. What did I do wrong? We're going to discuss that. The next question is, how do I live with all this daily anxiety, these panic attacks, this social anxiety that is just with me constantly? People that have been abused often go through their entire lives having this fear of people, lack of trust, and just panic, scared to even go out of their houses at times. How do people deal with that? I mean, what's the help of that? Another question that I hear often, and I mean often, it's not really a question, but it's a statement. People often tell me they don't want to live anymore. I mean, how do they get out of this pain? How do they live? They don't want to live anymore. They want to commit suicide. And I don't know how many nights I have spent setting up trying to talk a rape survivor. And that's another thing is in this advice line, there are no victims. You are a survivor. I'm a survivor. So that's what we are. There's no victims. In these rape survivors, they oftentimes just want to die because the pain is just so intense. Same way with people that have gone through early childhood trauma, early childhood rape. When those memories are surfacing, they want to die. So how do they survive the pain of going through all this trauma? We'll talk about that too. Um, Along with this last question, I also hear people complaining that they don't see anything but pain in their future. So they often ask, is there hope of healing? Is their life always going to be in such deep pain? Or is there a possibility of making it through the healing process and actually having a good life? I've actually got an example for you of someone that was in desperate pain from extreme child abuse that now is 100% healed. I'll tell you more about that later. It's a very positive story that I want to share with everyone that has been abused. Okay, so back to the first question. Question of why me? Why was I abused? Why was I raped? What did I do wrong? What, um, why me? Why did it happen to me when it could have happened to somebody else? Well, there's multiple ways to answer that question. Um, I was talking to a young teenage girl a few months ago. She had just been raped, and she was just in desperate um, need of help and understanding of why it happened to her. What happened with her, even though I'm not going to reveal names, what happened to her was that she was just walking down the railroad tracks, and this man just grabbed her up and raped her. And she wanted to know what she did that was so wrong. The truth is, she didn't do anything that was wrong. The, the problem is with the rapist. He had no right touching her, and whoever raped you or beat you or abused you did not have any right to do that kind of thing to you. It's not that you did anything wrong. Being abused is not your fault, and that is the hardest thing to get through a survivor's to get through to a survivor. Um, to to know that you didn't do anything wrong. Um, Rape, being abused, being attacked, it's about the abuser, about the attacker, wanting power over somebody or something, and you were just the person that was just in the way at the moment, and there was nothing that you could do. You were powerless at that moment. And that's something that survivors often ask too. Well, why couldn't I have just fought back? Well, maybe you were too small. Take a 3-year-old that was attacked and raped or molested. How can a 3-year-old fight off an adult man? How can a 10-year-old little girl fight off an adult man? For that matter, how can a 17-year-old, 120-pound young lady fight off an abuser? And it often happens so quickly, so rapidly, that the person that is being attacked, the survivor, doesn't even realize what's happening until it's already happened. So my advice is to try to work on looking at who you were and what the circumstances were at the time that you were attacked. Could you really have fought back? The answer is always going to be no. Even though you'll try to find some way to justify how it was your fault, there's no way. It was never your fault. It wasn't because you were a bad person or you were being punished or anything like that. It was the abuser wanted power. You were the one available, so the abuser grabbed you and did whatever they chose to do to you, and there was nothing you could do about it. I'm sorry to say that, but you're a survivor, and it wasn't your fault. And I know it hurts, and I know it would be easier to blame yourself than to blame somebody else, and especially if it's a loving parent, like a father rapes a child, it's so much easier to blame ourselves as the survivors. It's like there's something wrong with me because this God of a person that we look up to, which as a parent could never hurt me. Wrong, 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 wrong. That person did abuse you, and it was not your fault. You are a survivor of an attack. Sometimes a vicious attack, and it's not your fault. So work on looking and seeing what the circumstances are before you beat yourself up too much. Okay, the next question, and I'm reading off from my list here. I often hear is, how do I live with all this daily anxiety, panic attacks? The panic attacks, the anxiety, can range from having just uncomfortable feelings from going out into social situations to being so fearful that you can't even open your door to go and check your mailbox. I went through the full spectrum myself. I have went through times where I was so terrified to walk outside my door that I couldn't even check my mail. What I'm going to suggest and what helped me is to force yourself to do one step greater than what you think that you can do. For instance, if you think going outside to check your mail is too much, don't go check your mail. Open your door, walk out on your front step, and that's one step greater than you think that you can do. If it feels safe, walk out to the end of the sidewalk or walk 100 feet. Does that feel safe? If it does, see if you're brave enough to go a little farther. Can you get in the car and just drive down the road? If you can, then why not take it a little bigger step? Go walk into a store. You don't have to buy anything. Open up that door and walk in and see what happens. When you do that, when you take one or two steps beyond what you think you can do, and know that you're always ready to withdraw in case the panic gets too overwhelming, you can actually do a whole lot more than you think you can do. I know it's going to be hard, and it may be the hardest thing that you have ever done in your life, but if you practice that one little step at a time, eventually you can conquer the panic and anxiety on your own. It's not to say that you shouldn't get professional help. If you can get professional help, then I encourage you to get that professional help. I know there's times when I went through such panic that I couldn't even reach out for professional help. So I had to help myself to even get to the point to where I could go out and find help for the panic. But the more I pushed myself, just a little step at a time, the more I was able to do, and the more I was able to conquer the anxiety and the panic attacks. Okay, the next question is wanting to die to be out of the pain. I talk to a lot of people that are just wanting to commit suicide, and at the very moment, oftentimes people that have just been raped. The pain and anxiety and fear is just so great. It's like they're in shock that things like this can happen to them. I have worked with people that have been dealing with child abuse, maybe in their 40s and 50s, but the child abuse happened when they were under age 10. Um, the pain of knowing that one has been abused, one has been raped, one has been beaten, tormented, tortured, that wanting to die can be very strong because the pain is so intense. But in almost every case, in almost every case that I've dealt with, and that's including my own pain, um, what I have found, it is the pain that people wants gone. They want to be relieved of the pain, and the only way that they can see out of this pain is to die. And I know I went through years myself just wishing that I could die because the pain of healing my child abuse was so intense that I just didn't think I could handle the pain any longer. Um, what what I found that helped during those times was to let myself feel the pain, let myself feel all the pain that was heaped upon me in my childhood during the trauma, to face that trauma head on, because to face it is to relieve it. Because I viewed that memory of the trauma as nothing but a bully. The memory of the trauma was wanting to bully me and give me even more pain. And the more I faced up to what happened, the more that I faced the pain, the less power it had over me. So that's my advice, is to face the pain, face what happened to you, because once you face it and stand up to it, it will eventually lose its power. The more you face it, each time you face it, it will have a little less power over you each time. Oh, it'll come back. That desire to die will come back over and over and over again. It's like a bully. And then you have to stand your ground and say, I don't think so. You're not bullying me for me to end my life. Not now, not ever. Because you know what? I've already conquered you. And you can't hurt me anymore. You can try, but each time you come back, I'm going to just stand my ground and I'm going to fight you. And I can guarantee you, when you do that, this pain and desire to die will slowly start lifting. It's kind of like the panic attacks. The more you stand up to them, the more they're going to subside and leave. Okay. On to the next question is, I see nothing but more pain in my life, and is there hope of healing from all this pain? Well, here is where I'm going to tell you my story. I tell a lot of people to hold on, that life is going to get better. For me, it did. I am at the time of recording this video, I am age 50. My abuse started as early as I can remember at age 3. I remember being raped at age 3 by my uncle. Uh, that's too young to even know what was going on. I know when he um, put himself in me, I didn't like it, and it just felt not right. It hurt. I was awfully young, didn't understand, and my abuse continued on. Um, I am the daughter of a woman that wanted to have a boyfriend, so I'm the family bastard. Um, they always call me the frank, pretty bastard, and that I was not of their kind is what my family always taught me. Um, my dad, the dad that I lived with, was always threatening to kill me because I was the the bastard of the family. My family did not think that I could ever achieve anything. Um, they never encouraged me. They always kind of just stomped me down. Looking back, I don't see how I survived my childhood and the way that people treated me. I don't see how um, there could have been a future for me, but yet, in spite of everything that was put upon me, and yeah, I was raped, I was gang raped, I had a child, the child was killed in front of me. Um, I've seen death in more ways than what people want to know. Just put it this way: I've been through hell, and over the years, I faced every trauma that I went through. I faced them one at a time. I went through the panic attack. I asked all the questions. Why me? Why did I have to be born in such a family that hated me? Why did I have to be the bastard of the family? Why couldn't I have been one of the family and loved as one of them? Um, it was just I was just a victim of, or a survivor. So I'm not a victim, but I was a survivor of the circumstances. I just happened to be born in a family from hell, and in the circumstances from hell. It doesn't mean that I'm the bad person. I'm not the monster my family makes me out to be. I'm not crazy like they said that I was. And well, they still try to stomp me down, but I don't let them anymore. So right now, my life um, is absolutely fantastic. I worked through the process of healing. I got to the point to where um, I forgave all of my family. I forgave all of my abusers. And right now, um, although I grew up on welfare, and then I lived off from disability for years because I was too traumatized to work for a living. Right now, I am working with a high-paying job. I make $80,000 a year. I live in a beautiful, beautiful community, very peaceful place. I'm healed. I have no pain over any of the things that happened to me in my childhood. Um, I have no panic. I can remember everything that happened to me with clarity, with no pain, no anxiety. Um, totally healthy in every way, and which is a miracle. So yes, people can survive. I wrote a story about my life. Wrote a book. It's not a story. It's nothing made up. I wrote a book. It's called Gabriel's Tears. That shows what kind of a painful life I had, and what a difficult life that I had, and what happened, of how I I was healed, which I think it's amazing just because I survived, just because I'm alive at age 50, that I can make this video, I can reach out and help other people. It's amazing. Um, Now what I would like to do is I'd like to find a way to gather all of you people together, and maybe you can share your stories of survival and ask questions, because that's what I would like to do with the rest of my life. I would like to reach out to you people and and see if my experience can help any of you, to help you heal. Again, this is a peer support advice. I'm not here to give professional advice. I'm not a licensed psychologist or a psychiatrist or anything like that. I'm just here to give peer support to help you continue on with your support system, or maybe even help you find a support system if you don't have one already. So come and check out this video as well as all of them at Gabriel's Tears. And all these videos can be found at gabrielscompassion.org, as in Angel Gabriel, my personal beloved angel. Thank you for being in my life. See you next time.